Welcome. Actually, I see people coming into our town hall today, and I want to just encourage you, if you'd all feel like it, if you want to turn on your video, that would be great because it gives us a chance to actually see each other. Karen, nice seeing you. Nice, and thank you for being with us. And I think the same goes for everyone else. If I can get a little bit of a sense, can everyone hear us? We're good with that. We're good. I get a nod from Kara, and so I think the same kind of a hands up from someone else. Wonderful. So whatever I can do, whatever I would encourage you to actually turn on your camera. Thank you, These, for being. Thank you, Gina, for being with us as well. So it's really, really nice to see. And I think I see one or two more people coming in at the same time. So welcome. So I thank all of you for being with us this morning. This is our inaugural town hall meeting. We have not done it previously, but it reminded us very much of a couple of years back when we actually held our Business After Fives virtually at the time when we couldn't get together. So there was a strange sense from us as a team when we organized it and put this together. There was a little bit of a reminder of that period of time actually to us. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mishka Balsam, and I'm the CEO of the Greater Niagara Chamber of Commerce. And we really hope that this town hall is going to be a very interactive session. I'm being joined by all of my colleagues. We try to identify ourselves a little bit by having a similar background, and it's part of our logo that my colleague Brad has put together. And the dots actually that you see represents the 12 communities of Niagara. So if you're ever wondering how we came up with this, this is its history and it's part of it. So as you likely would know, because you've had a number of different touch points with our organization already, is that GNCC is an independent, nonpartisan, membership-based organization. You might have known about chambers, also sometimes called the Board of Trades. They were founded in France, actually in 1599, so it's over 425 years ago. And the first one moving to Canada was actually in Halifax, was opened in Halifax, and it was in 1750. So Chambers of Commerce, or Board of Trade, as they sometimes are called, have a really long history in the community. And I think essentially we are here to support the business community. As being part of the GNCC, we are also members of the Ontario and the Canadian Chambers of Commerce, so that automatically allows you also to tap into some of the wealth of the knowledge and resources that are available through those two organizations. When I look around the screen, and often when we as a team meet, we're wondering what motivates us, what gets us up in the morning. And it is actually essentially the sense that we are better together. We really are driven by that motto and believe that we're stronger and better together as we come together. Just recently, I had a conversation with one of my colleagues, chamber colleagues, actually out west. And we had this conversation about things that are just better together. And so ideas that came forward were peanut butter and jelly, cookies and milk, and movies and popcorn. So we might have been in a certain mindset at the time, and maybe at the time less focused on chambers. But I think in chambers, the same thing applies. We are better together and stronger together because we can really help each other out and assist us in moving and supporting each other's goals and moving each other's company and organization forward. Our vision is that we want to really make Niagara to be the best place to live for everyone. And we want to do this by seeing Niagara at its best economically and socially. Both aspects are important to us because we believe they go hand in hand and really enrich this place that all of us are calling home. I've been with the Chamber for about 9 years, and when I have the hundreds or thousands of conversations that I've had, wondering why people join the Chamber, what makes them be part of it year after year, and I really think it boils down to 3 aspects of it. One of them is the sense of belonging. The other one is probably opportunities and knowledge, and I put them together. And the third aspect is support and advocacy that they receive. When I talk about belonging, or when we as a group talk about belonging, it's often that the connections with like-minded businesses is something that brings people together. We have members of ours that have received or have been able to develop partnerships, have been able to bring new team members on, have expanded their customer base because they're part of the chamber, because the chamber allows them and gives them access to a really powerful network and allows them to connect in different ways than what they might normally do. And this could take place at our events, at network gatherings, at gatherings like what we're having right now, or even through our social channels, website, and other ways. So it's an opportunity for people to profile their business, profile themselves, amplify their brand, and then at the same time actually connect with other people. And many ways people get involved with us and give them a sense of belonging. We have, for example, here 5 advisory councils. One of them is our nonprofit council supporting the nonprofit and charity sector. The next one is Next Niagara, which looks actually at the emerging new leaders moving forward. WIN is our Women in Niagara, anything in support of women in business. Our Government Affairs Council supports us on our advocacy in the directions that we take, and our EDI is looking at making all of us better. So in addition to ways that we can gather together, we also have advisory councils that some of our members are involved in, or that are actually also reaching out to the community in different ways than what we do. So it's a powerful network, it's strong, and although our team might be on the smaller end of it, the number of volunteers and people engaged in the chamber is quite vast. And by doing so and having all these councils and committees in place, gives also you a different way of engaging with us. So that's, I think, a first aspect of giving people a sense of belonging. The second one, I think, lies around opportunities, knowledge and opportunities. We're living in an ever-changing economic and social climate, and knowledge is key. And key is around looking at professional development opportunities for you, or maybe for team members of yours or colleagues of yours. And operational opportunities, and saying like, in how do you gain knowledge about the latest cybersecurity risks that are there and ways that we can actually eliminate or reduce that risk. What is happening when it comes to taxes? What are legal obligations that we have? How can we access grants, loans, funds? What are some of the HR challenges that you might find, recruitment challenges that might be there? And what are the latest trends when we talk about ESG and EDI? These are all aspects that are knowledge that strengthen our organization, that strengthens us and our teams that we have. And we basically provide workshops, webinars, gatherings. We provide information in our daily updates that we have on all of those things. And it's really something that our membership taps into and takes advantage of. Which then also leads me to the third aspect of it, and that's the support and advocacy. And so this is really looking at Niagara's future, and there's a lot of people who want access to elected officials. They want and need someone to advocate for the things and the challenges that they're facing. And when we come together as a community, we are just stronger in doing so. And I will have my colleague Hugo Cheshire, who is our Director of Government Relations and Policy, who will actually dive more into it. And when it comes to many of the services that we offer, Karina Mastercard, our Director of Operations and Marketing and Communications, is actually going to speak to it. So those are the 3 buckets that we hear most often that people turn to. It's the belonging, the knowledge, and the support that is there. And when I look at some of the testimonials that we have gathered over the years, there are people who are saying it's making it easier for local businesses to operate and grow. We hope we can make it easier. Their membership provides an opportunity for them to stay engaged in the community and to help build a prosperous Niagara. It's always nice to hear. And other organizations who are saying we're stronger, more informed, and more resilient because we are together. So those are some of the reasons of why people come together, gather with us, and also connect with us. So we really, really do appreciate it because it makes us strong as a community. We're currently the 3rd largest chamber in Ontario, which also speaks of a very engaged Niagara business community. And we're glad to be part of that engagement. So you have a commitment from all of us to your success, to support you by you being a member of our organization. And on that note, I am going to pass it over to my colleague, Karina Mastercott, and we're going to give you a little bit more of an update, and then we're passing it on to you for a little bit of an insight on advocacy as well. And after that, a short introduction to those areas of it. We wanted to open it up for any questions that you have and for hopefully having a very interactive dialogue with you. So thank you, and over to you, Karina.
Thank you, Mishka. Hi, everybody. So I did get to meet some of you at our Business After 5 recently. Some of you I know in very different roles, like Kara. Kara, nice to see you. And Gina, I think we met at the Women in Business Awards. We have lots of new members here, which is great. But this is also meant for our members who have maybe been a member for a long time, want to get kind of an update on what the advantages of their membership is, or possibly someone who's new to their organization. So if you're ever speaking to anyone else at, say, Business After 5, you can kind of let them know that that's what the point of this town hall is. However, I do not do this alone. So I would like to introduce my team. So first off, I'd like to introduce Savannah Sturrett. She's one of our membership engagement managers.
Hi, everyone. And I feel like as I'm looking at the list, I've probably talked to all of you, if not most of you. So nice to see you here.
Next up, we have Jordan Amendolia. He's been with our team for a few months now, and he's also one of our membership engagement managers and really focusing on our digital opportunities.
Hi, everyone. It's good to meet everyone. I feel like I've met maybe one or two of you before, but for the rest of you, I can't wait to get to know you.
And next up, Michaela Steves is our event and marketing coordinator. So many of you know, have seen me running around at the events, but Michaela is taking a lot of that burden off of me, and she's doing a great job on logistics.
Hi, everybody.
And we also have Brad Demers. So Brad wears many, many hats. You may see him with a camera out at our events. He also is our graphic designer. He also runs our website and all of our cyber and IT services as well.
Hey, everybody.
And lastly, Mishka also mentioned Hugo. Hugo Shusher is our Director of Policy and Government Relations, and you will hear from him in a moment. Hugo, you want to give a wave?
Yes, it's me. You'll hear plenty from me. I'm not going to take up any time now.
The format of this town hall is going to be, I'm going to kind of go over some tips of some things kind of to take advantage of your membership. And we're recording this session so that others who couldn't make it here today can watch the first half. Then we're gonna stop recording, and then please feel free to turn your cameras on and not be recorded. And that's where you can ask your questions, but don't feel like you have to turn your camera on. You can also ask a question without your camera on. You can put it in the chat. It's also an opportunity for those who maybe have been members for a little while. They found a tip and they might want to share it. So kind of best practices. And you can also share any challenges that you might have because Hugo is here. Hugo being our Director of Policy and Government Relations, that's really his role, is to help you with, facing any red tape or challenges in your business. Yeah, and any announcements that you might have. So maybe your business has moved, you want to let everybody know. Maybe you've got an event coming up, that kind of thing. So, so you've heard from Mishka, we're working towards Niagara being in its economic and social best. So your membership is directly affecting that work. So you're feeling good about, yes, all right, I've got my membership, I'm all signed up. Okay, now what? Now what do I do? Couple of tips going forward. You might want to get familiar with our business councils. Mishka kind of alluded to them. So we do have our board of directors that governs us, but we also have our business councils, and they really guide us on our programming for specific demographics. So you might want to get familiar with kind of what they're up to. We do have lots of information. They each have their own site. Well, Women in Niagara and Next Niagara do on our website, within our website. So there's that. Couple of things that I just wanted to mention. We get asked a lot if we are tied to the government at all. Not in any shape or form. And that's really important because we will get to Hugo section, because we are able to advocate on behalf of business. And that could be a very specific issue that you have in your own business, or that could be a very large issue that's maybe, for example, we're working on some things that are affecting the whole wine industry right now. So that separation is really important. And that's a question that we get asked a lot. So I just wanted to go over that. And basically we're here to make it easier for you to do business. So that's reach out anytime and ask us how we can help you do that. So I would say Savannah and Jordan, probably you're going to help me. You're going to be nodding along with this. Probably the first thing you want to do is get your Memby profile updated. So your Memby profile is actually what informs your directory listing on our website. So we've had a lot of updates to our Memby system recently. So you can go in there, you can add in your company logo, you can update your company description, you can add in your own profile picture on there as well. You can add in anyone else from your organization that you might want to have listed there and who's getting information about chamber activities, because we know that you can't do it all and be everywhere all the time. I would encourage everyone to put in any social links that they have. That's really going to help with your search engine optimization. Our site has really, really, really good search engine optimization. So when people are searching your company and you have links within your listing, you will be at the top of Google or whatever search function you're using. So I'd really recommend to make sure that that you have all of that updated. If anybody has no idea what the heck I'm talking about and you need your link to set up your login, if you want, you can just raise your hand now. Michaela can just write those names down for us. Gina needs one, and we'll make sure to resend you that login information. Another thing with Memby that I would encourage, I don't know about you guys, but one of the things, oh, Daniel needs a link as well. One of the things that takes a lot of my time and is not one of my favorite things to do is paying bills. So, and I know you guys are really, really busy working in your businesses and you don't have time to think about that stuff. So you can also save a credit card right in your Memby profile. It's there, so you don't have to worry about your membership. It's just being taken care of for you. So that's another new feature that we have. One thing you can do there too is update your mailing list preferences. So as I mentioned, Women in Niagara, Next Niagara, we have different messaging going out. So we have a few different mailing lists. Specifically for Women in Niagara, Next Niagara, we have our events and specials mailing list. We also have our daily update, which Hugo and Mishka put together. Basically, we read all of the newspapers and put all of the business news into one spot for you. So I would highly recommend signing up for the daily. And we also, if you're like, okay, that's a lot of emails, Karina, that's way too many, you're flooding my inbox, I get it. You can also sign up for a weekly email and just have everything come to you once a week. All right, team, did I miss anything about Memby in that area? Okay, we're good there. I would also like to highlight our business savings resources page on our website. I'm not going to go through all of them today. Keep an eye out for our future upcoming town halls. I'm going to start bringing in some guests from these organizations that are offering you discounts. So just to give you a high level overview, couple of things that we have. Chamber Group Insurance Plan. A lot of our members really, really like it because it's really affordable. We actually negotiate the rates on a national basis so that we can make it cheaper for our members. And people like it because it's really customizable. So that's a really good option. And even if it's just yourself, or even if you have like 1 to 2 employees, you can sign up for the benefits. And that's another thing that people really like because some other plans don't allow you to sign up if you're a solopreneur. And people are having a really hard time with employee retention these days. So it's a really good way to show your employees that, you know, that they're valued, and that you want to keep them on. So. The couple others that I would highlight also, FreightCom. FreightCom is a shipping service. It basically searches all of the shipping sites and finds, Savannah's shaking her head, she's used it, she loves it. It'll find all the cheapest rates for you. And then you can pick from there, and it's super easy to sign up for and super easy to use. I've used it as well for even just shipping stuff for the chamber. So I'd highly recommend FreightCom. And then also Elevon. Elevon is a payment processing platform that you would get discounts for your for all your merchant fees. And it's not just, they do have consoles, and you might be thinking, yeah, I don't take payments that way. You can even put it into your website, and they have like platforms that like you basically just take all of their coding, put it into your site, and then you can process payments. It's really, really, really cool. I think I saw Jordan shaking his head because he just got a demo recently from our friend Phil at Elevon. So if you're interested in getting a quote, basically we just put in your email, and then we'll have Elevon reach out to you to see if that would be worth it for you. Highly recommend going through the demo though, because they've got some really great features. So that's just a few of them. I think we have about 12 business savings programs on our site. Please feel free to check them out. Contact me anytime, and I can get you some more information about any of them. We also have a lot of free resources on our website. So I would highly recommend checking out that resources section of our website. We've got a whole host of human resources, safety, workplace safety resources there. We've got our ESG resources. There's a whole list of probably about 12 things on our site of free resources that you have access to. Lots of templates there that you can use. So I would highly recommend checking out that section. I'll also be launching, releasing all of, Mishka mentioned that we are members of the Ontario Chamber and the Canadian Chamber, which means that you are a member of the Ontario Chamber and the Canadian Chamber. And so there's also another whole host of resources that come down through those chambers. So monthly, I'll also be telling you about a couple different opportunities. So one right now that the Ontario Chamber has available is AODA training. And so that's actually free. If we can get 7 members together who want to take it, they'll do a free course through the Ontario Chamber. If anybody's interested in that, please let me know. And then lastly, I would recommend having a conversation with Jordan about our digital options. We have lots of ways to get your message out there. You know, a lot of people are kind of like, okay, I joined and that's it. Like, I'm just going to start getting knocks on the door. Your membership is really about how much you put into it. You're going to get out of it how much you put into it. So I'd really recommend, having a chat on how you can make sure that people are seeing you all the time. So they're seeing you out at Business After 5. They're seeing you in our dailies that are coming out. They're seeing your e-blast going out. So you're getting lots of different touch points. And I see a question coming in. Would the AOD course be open to employees or just representative of the organization? This is something that I'm a little bit new to, but as far as I know, it's open to the employees of the organization. We would just need 7 different companies to sign up, but I can find that out for sure. But I'm pretty sure it's for the employees as well, especially because I asked for our team and she alluded to organizations at that time. Okay, so Megan's interested in that. Michaela, if you can make a note for me, that would be great. All right, so I mentioned Business After 5 a whole lot, but we do probably 60 to 80 events a year. Lots of chances to come and hang out. Lots of different networks too. You'll see different kinds of faces out at different kinds of events. So now is our section where I will let you know about what's coming up. So we have our Niagara Business Leadership Series. coming up next week, April 24th. It's a breakfast event, and we have Nick Romano coming to speak to us. He's the CEO of DeepLight, which is an AI company. We heard from our members that everyone was interested. Okay, I keep hearing about this AI thing. What's going on? How do I actually use this in my business? So Nick's going to come and talk to us about how you can use it to boost your sales, how you can use it in your HR practices, your legal practices, and so how to really implement it and make your life easier when you're doing business. So that's going to be really interesting. So I highly recommend you come out to that. That's going to be tied to our annual general meeting as well. So if you're new to a chamber and you've never been part of a chamber before, every year we have an annual general meeting. We will do things like vote in our new executive for our board of directors, vote in any new board directors who are joining the board. We look at the financials of the organization, and Mishka will give you an update of everything that we've been working on for the last year. So it's really important that members have your voice heard and have your vote. So you can come in person and get all the updates and vote in person. But if you can't make it, that's okay. You can send in a proxy vote. And if anybody needs a proxy, again, you can just kind of raise your hand or put it in the chat. We'll make sure that you get your proxy. Also coming up, we have 2 Espresso Lives. So Espresso Live is where Mishka hosts in the morning. Come and have your coffee with her, and or your cappuccino or your espresso. But she's always talking to an expert in the field, and it's going to be topics that are kind of really relevant, sort of the moment, things that are in the news, that kind of thing. And on May 1st, we will have Blake Landry coming to speak to us. Blake works for Niagara Economic Development, and he has just done a whole host of research about the economy of Niagara. So he's going to give you a report about sort of the all of this data of everything that businesses are doing. And it was I heard a snippet of it. It was so interesting to hear how well business is doing in Niagara. So I would highly recommend coming out to hear what Blake has to say. Oh, you don't have to come out. That one's virtual. So you can just sit in your office and join us. And then on May 23rd, we're going to have Brian Rose from the Niagara Community Foundation joining us because May is Leave a Legacy Month, something that I just learned. And so he's going to be talking about why it's important to leave a legacy. I heard a bit of this talk that he did in December, and I had so many questions after the fact because there are so many tax deductions you can get by making sure that you are contributing to your community in a meaningful way, but it can also help your taxes. So I would highly recommend coming out to hear Brian. He's a wonderful speaker, and he'll be giving people laying it out of why it can help the community, but then also help your business finances as well. And lastly, I wanted to highlight Chamber Connects. Chamber Connects is our member appreciation event because we appreciate you. That we're here for you. We're a membership driven organization, so we want to thank you for your support. So we will be at Ridley College on May 30th. And come out. It's kind of like a really big business after 5. We expect about 300 to 400 people in attendance. So come out and have some munchies, have a beverage, do some networking, and you can also check out our members who will have a tabletop display. And so that's also an opportunity for you to get the word out about your business. We do have a few booths left. I think Jordan is probably 2/3 of the way there, so we're getting close. So if you want to get your booth, make sure to talk to Jordan right away and get that booked. But it's a great opportunity because you're there and doing everything that all the attendees are doing, but then you also have your nice display right behind you, and then you can say, hey, here's all my pamphlets, and come check us out. It's an opportunity to give out samples and really interact with all of the attendees. And lunch and learns are free for our members, and those happen monthly on the last Tuesday of the month. So you can check out those as well.
So what I do, and I find our members really fall into one of two categories. Either people know me really well and we work together all the time, or they have no idea. So essentially what I do for people in the second category is two roles, basically. First of all, as has been mentioned, I kind of a lobbyist for you. I advocate and lobby for businesses, individual businesses, and business interests as a whole in Niagara. And I'm also here to help you navigate government, help you navigate regulations, support you, and answer your questions. So always reach out to me at any time of any questions about legislation, rules, regulations, compliance, things you need to do with your business. If I don't know, I will know who does know, and I can get you an answer. As Karina mentioned, we're not affiliated with any government at any level, which leaves us free to lobby on your behalf and get policies changed, get things altered in ways that's clear the way for your business. And I have actually been successful in changing legislation for individual businesses. So there aren't any issues that are too small. Bring them all to me. Now, I want to give you a quick update as well about what we've been working on, but as you've heard, I have a few minutes, so I'm actually going to tell you about one thing that we've been working on. And if you're curious about the rest, then please reach out. But the thing that's quite important right now, and which is sort of coming to a head, is the Municipal Growth Framework, which is a very boring term for something which is actually very important. And Municipal Growth Framework was important to us because of the infrastructure question. And you might have noticed if you're driving around that the roads don't look very good, and there's a lot of water main breaks, and the power goes out every time there is a thunderstorm, and so on. Now, municipal governments are actually responsible for most of Ontario's infrastructure, 52%. The issue is, and the reason why a lot of our infrastructure is in a poor state of repair, is because municipal governments don't have a lot of money. Almost 90% of the services that they provide, they're legally obliged to by the province. That's things like education, policing, fire protection, and so forth. So stuff like infrastructure, unless it's urgent, tends to get deferred because the council has a choice between raising your property taxes, which they don't want to do, or deferring the stuff they don't absolutely have to do this year. And as a result, almost half of Ontario's infrastructure now is in a poor state of repair, and fixing it all could cost as much as $60 billion, which is a lot of money. A concrete example here, forgive the pun, that's an infrastructure pun, the CN Rail Bridge out in St. Catharines. You know this one, the one out past Burgoyne Bridge, where every time you drive over, you get that whoa kind of feeling, and it's closed now. And it's going to be closed for 3 years. They say it's going to finish the end of 2026. As we know, infrastructure projects always come in on time and on budget, so absolutely total faith in that. But the reason why it's going to be closed for 3 years, it was actually deteriorating for quite a while. And it's reached a point now where it's just not safe to drive over anymore, so it has to be closed. And the reason why it was deteriorating was because they defer it every year because there are more important things that they have to deliver with the money. They don't want to raise the property taxes, and this is eventually what happens: is infrastructure decays to the point at which it starts falling apart, has to be closed, or repairs become much more expensive. So what's the answer? We need to fix the infrastructure. Municipalities own the infrastructure. Municipalities have no money, don't want to put the property taxes up. We need a new funding model. This is where the Municipal Growth Framework comes in. So municipal governments basically have one tool to raise revenue. They can jack your property taxes up. Obviously, that's not good. And we saw this over the last couple of years, raising property taxes, especially at a time when the cost of living is already going up. That really puts pressure on people. But the upper tiers of government in the province and Canada, they have many more tools to raise revenue. They have income taxes, capital gains taxes, excise duties, import tariffs, and so on and so forth. So there's many more ways that they can raise money, and with that money they can subsidize municipal governments, and that's what the Municipal Growth Framework does. It's a new model of funding which essentially ties the funding that municipalities get from the upper tiers of government to their growth. And as we're seeking to grow our population, and Niagara's population is projected to grow enormously over the next 20 to 30 years, it supports that growth directly. The issue is right now is that when that funding comes in, it tends to be ad hoc and tied to an individual project. So you'll get $15 million for your transit or $200 million for your wastewater, but you can't rely on that. You want a reliable revenue stream from the upper tiers of government. And the last time we revisited this funding model was back in the late 19th century. And some things have changed since then, I think, a few things. It's a little bit different. what we're doing right now, we're working directly with the Federation of Canadian Municipalities to advance this. We've successfully gotten the City of St. Catharines to endorse it. And later this month, in fact, we're going to the Ontario Chamber of Commerce and later on to the Canadian Chamber of Commerce at their AGM policy resolution process to get them on board. And this highlights something that we usually do at the Chamber. We never try and do our advocacy work alone. We always like to have partners. So we have our partners in the Ontario Chamber and the Canadian Chamber. When it comes to getting stuff done at the provincial and the federal level, they're very, very powerful partners to have. And we always try and bring them on board. So this is something that we can do for you when we're lobbying, is to bring in those big, powerful voices and make your issue into an issue of national importance that is going to get action. But not everything that we do is on such a grand scale, and it doesn't have to be an issue of national importance to get the chamber out of bed. A lot of what we do is helping individual members, and an example of that we've done recently, well, the other part of my title is Director of Policy and Government Relations. So I actually write a lot of policies for people, and I write a lot of policies for members. For example, we helped out a member who needed a cybersecurity and monitoring policy. So we wrote the policy for them, and it was compliant with best practices. It was compliant with the law and legislation. It was exactly what they needed. And this is the sort of thing that we can do. Now, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an accountant, but if you're at a level where you don't need that level of expertise or to pay for that level of expertise, but you are looking at something that's a bit outside your wheelhouse and not in your comfort zone, again, like, I can help with that. So please reach out to me. Hugo@gncc.ca is my email address, or pick up the phone. Give me a call, even if you just want to talk about what the government's doing these days. I'm always happy to talk about government and policy with you. And lastly, one other thing I want to share with you as well is, as Karina mentioned, we do the daily update every day. We love to share local business news. So if you have some cool news about your business, a cool story that you'd like to share with the world, with our community, then let me know. Send me an email. Tell me what's going on, and I will be glad to share your positive news. If you're growing, hiring, expanding, you just landed a big contract, whatever it is, I want to put that out there. So either way, whatever's going on, get in touch. If I can help you, if you just want to learn more about what I do, then I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hugo. That was a great overview, actually. And we will also share the link to the daily update in case you're not part of it yet in the chat function as well, so that you can sign up for it. It's been read by over 4,000 businesses in Niagara on a daily basis, and really gives you an update on a really good overview of what is happening each and every day. But this was a lot of time on our end, so forgive us, we're taking a little bit more than the 30 minutes that we said we would do, but this is our first time actually coming together for this town hall. So we're going to stop the recording right now.